This week in greenhouse class, the kids will be making individual worm bins with 2-liter bottles. Here's a few instructions that will hopefully make your job easier this week. First, the worms are in this container right here. There are hundreds of worms in the container. You will want to open up this container and you will need to separate out worms for the kids. You can have the kids put anywhere between 10 and 20 worms in each individual bottle. The worms are small. You will notice some tiny white bugs in this container. These bugs cannot jump on you, will not live on you. They only thrive in this worm container. There is nothing harmful about them. Basically, the reason they're in there is because the worm bin that they came from was too moist and getting too much food. Once the worms are in the individual worm containers, these little white bugs won't even transfer over to the new worm bins. But even if they do, it's not harmful. You will place worms on each table in one of these pie tins. I'm not going to do it now because we don't have any classes coming out today. The second container, pie tin container, will have oatmeal. The third container on your table has sand. And you will also notice there are rubber bands on your table. When you get to greenhouse class, you'll want to show up probably 15 to 20 minutes early for this lesson. The first thing you're going to need to do is moisten the soil thoroughly. You will have to get the soil wet probably 3 or 4 times before it is moist. You will need to do it like this. You will turn the knob on right here for the water. As you can see, it's above the sink to the left a little bit. You will turn the water on and get the soil wet. Really good. Turn off the water. Then you will use this tool to mix the soil around. As you can see, it's still very dry underneath, even after I've added all that water. You, like I said, will want to do this at least 4 or 5 times. It's very important that the worms get put into moist soil, so this is a very important step. After that, you will see the individual worm bin bottles on your table. And what you're going to want to do then is have the kids fill up their worm bins. Instead of doing it by inches, I think it's going to be easier to do it by scoops. So your first layer is going to be soil. Have groups of probably 4 come over to the soil bin and have them put 1, 2 scoops of soil into the container. And you can have them push it down a little bit too, so we have more distinct layers. The more distinct you make the layers, the more fun it will be for the kids during observation. Second, you're going to have them come back over and get a scoop of sand. Have them put only 1 scoop of sand in. Once again, you can have them move this around a little bit with their hands and pat it down a little bit. To get the distinct layers. So you can see what's going on. There's 2 distinct layers. The oatmeal will be in this pie tin. I do not have the oatmeal today, but what you're going to want to do is just have them take 1 pinch of oatmeal and place it on the top. This will also make observation fun because the oatmeal will travel over the course of the month when they're observing these in the classroom. Okay, so you're going to want to repeat these steps. Soil, 2 scoops. Press it down. Not hard. They don't need to like pack it down as hard as they can, but just press it down a little bit to make it so that you can see the distinct layers. Go back over, get another scoop of sand. Once again, have them even it out. Add 1 more scoop of oatmeal to the top there. At this point, I would have them add the worms. So once the worms are added, if they brought worm food, you can have them put a little bit of worm food on top of the worms. And then lastly, you're going to go over to the soil bin again and do two more scoops of soil. Now we don't want them to be huge scoops, but just average size scoops. So as you can see, it has a very layered look. Over the course of the next month, the kids are going to observe that basically all this sand and soil will be mixed together by the end of it. So starting out with the distinct layers will help them observe the changes. Next, there are paper towels on the front table. And there's also going to be paper here. I have to do that still, but construction paper. So the first thing you're going to want to do is basically take a sheet of paper and wrap it around this whole 2-liter bottle. The point of that is that worms like it dark, and without that, they're not going to be in a comfortable environment. So you're going to want to wrap the paper around the bottle and tape it. Do not tape it to the bottle. You're just going to want to tape it so that it can slide on and off easy for observation. I will have this one complete for you so you'll be able to see what it looks like. When you're completely finished, you're going to rip off the paper towel, and you're going to place it on the top. You do not need to make the paper towel wet. And you will place the rubber band around the top, like this. That will keep the worms in the bin. So hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, let me know.